today. Why? Because Star Trek is more awesome than my boobs. Star Trek wiggle. Alright, so I'm not going to be talking about something political or something dramatic. I'm really going to talk about geeking out because live long and prosper. Mother. Vulcan high five. Yes, I high-fived myself on video. Did I ask you? I didn't. So, I'm pretty much going to talk about the Star Wars movie because I went and saw it before most people, even though most people saw it this weekend. I got to see it on Wednesday before most people because my coworker had advance tickets. And I saw the first movie like pretty much when it came out, so I completely geeked out. Because JJ Abrams has created this alternate universe, which is similar in, you know, how the TV show and the movies went, but not exactly the same thing. So I'm pretty much going to give you a rundown of what happened. So I'm warning you now, there are going to be spoilers in this video. If you don't want to know what happens in the Star Trek movie, literally stop watching my video right now because I'm pretty much going to give you the whole synopsis. Which, if you saw the trailer pretty much tells you what the movie's about, so if you have sensitive feelings, then go away. But if not, like my video and keep watching. Anyway, so it starts out where Kirk is already running the Enterprise because Pike gave it to him, and now he's, you know, captain, and Spock is his first commander, and the whole team is there. And, you know, like, Uhura's still dating Spock, and they still have Scotty, and Bones, and Chekhov, and etc., etc., etc. So they're on this island where they're going to explore because that's what people in Starfleet like to do, not mind their own business, because that's what humans are good for, not minding their own business. So they go, and while they were discovering, they find out that this volcano is going to erupt and it's going to like wipe out this whole planet and everyone's going to die. And they're like, well, we can't do that because we're part of a Starfleet, so we can't allow them, this whole race, to just die off. So Spock has this thing in a briefcase because science is always in a briefcase, and the thing inside the briefcase will pretty much like blizzaga the entire volcano so that no one will die. So they drop him off in the volcano. Of course his cord snaps because it's too hot, and the little mini ship can't handle the heat, so they have to like dip set off and go back toward the Enterprise so that they don't die. And Uhura's like, we have to go back, and Kirk is like, don't worry, we're not going to let Spock die, it's fine. And Spock is like, oh, the needs of the many, like, outweigh the needs of the few, which means that Spock's pretty much telling him, like, bro, let me die, like, I don't want this whole planet to die, it's okay if I die, if other people don't die. And Kirk is like, shit, you can't be doing that, like, you're my bro, I need your little, like, Vulcan ears and all your, like, snippy comments about how you don't have regular human emotions because you're half Vulcan, and you don't know how to lie. So what they're supposed to do while they're on their planet is, like, not expose themselves. And, of course, because Kirk never listens to anybody in the history of ever, they totally expose the Enterprise ship, and they get seen, and they save the planet, but they, like, leave. And then when they get back, Pike is like, we told you not to be seen! Now this whole alien civilization, like, knows that humans don't know how to mind a goddamn business! And Kirk is like, but, like, no one died, though, and I, like, saved a whole planet, and Spock didn't die because we went back for him, yo. And Pike is like, I don't care what you did, you don't know how to listen, and you think that you could just run game on everybody, so, you've been demoted. You're no longer commander of the Enterprise, and they're gonna give it to somebody else because I try to back you up, but you don't know how to listen, so, tough tits, bro, you don't have a ship anymore. And now you're down to being, like, pretty much like a cadet. They're going to send him back to the Starfleet Academy and be like, you ain't nothing. So he's like, what? I'm going to go to a bar and get drunk like I did in the first movie, except in the first movie I got my ass kicked. So he, like, hops off. And I didn't mention this in the beginning because, like, this kind of happens, but it's, like, subplots. So there's, like, this guy, and he has a wife, and his daughter has cancer, and she's dying. And mysteriously, this guy shows up, who is played by Benedict Cumberbatch. And if you don't know who he is, if you ever watched the BBC TV show of Sherlock Holmes, he plays Sherlock Holmes. By the way, he's a really phenomenal actor, and I've never watched Sherlock Holmes, but I loved him in this movie, so I'm totally going to watch his show. So, I'm going to become a Cumberbitch. For people who know what that is, those are the people who are fans of Benedict Cumberbatch. It's like being a Chris Pine fan and being a pine nut. Terminology for Nerd World. So, the daughter is like 7 and she has cancer, and like the parents are like, oh my god, my daughter's gonna die, that totally sucks. So then, he shows up and he's like, my blood will save your daughter, I can help her. So he's like, okay bro, save my daughter. So he like takes a blood transfusion, he gives it to his daughter, and the daughter like starts getting magically better for like no reason. And then all of a sudden he goes inside and he goes into this building for Starfleet, and he goes down to the basement and he has a Starfleet ring on, and he takes it off and he puts it in a glass, and the whole fucking building explodes. And like mad people are dead and stuff. And everybody's like, what? Like, why is this happening? Why is this like mysterious, like creepy looking English guy like destroying stuff? So then cut back to like where Kirk is all like getting drunk because he's like sad because Pike is like, ha 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 ha, you're like nothing now. So he meets him in the bar and he's like, oh, I totally talked to like the superiors, and you're gonna be my first commander, and I got the Enterprise back, so don't worry about it, bro. All that stuff I said to you earlier is like not even important. And they're like, what? So then Pike gets a phone call and it's like, oh, you gotta come to like headquarters because stuff got blown up and that's important. So then they all go and like they're having a meeting and they're like talking stuff. And then a ship flies up into the air and starts shooting the shit out of everybody. And everybody's just getting murdered because this ship is just like throwing lasers in. Because right before that happens, of course, Kirk is like, if he single-handedly like organized the destruction of a building that was creating weapons for Starfleet, then he would know because he's like he's a secret agent that went rogue, and like he was like adventuring out into like the Klingons to check out what was going on. And like if people don't know, like the Klingons like hate the human race and they're not allowed to like talk to each other because the Klingons are like, bitch, you need to mind your business, I'm gonna fucking kill you. So the humans are like, we're not gonna fuck with Klingons because they don't give a shit about us and all they want to do is wipe us off the face of the earth. So this guy is like a secret agent kind of thing. I don't even know how you could have a secret agent in like Starfleet because it's in space. So like that can't be much of a secret because you have a ship. Anyway, so they're like, oh, he's a secret agent and he's like becoming a terrorist. So then Kirk is like, well, if he's a terrorist, then he definitely knows that all of us are here together. Boom, ship shows up, everyone starts getting blown up. Kirk goes and like does something and then like tries to like kill him and it doesn't work. And then of course Pike gets shot. And then, like, Pike dies, so, of course, Kirk is like, I have to avenge the only guy who's been my father, because my father died in a ship, and I never got to know him, blah, 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 blah. And Pike's the only guy that ever believed in him, is, like, the closest thing to a father figure, so, like, he cares about it. He also tells Spock, after Pike dies, like, the reason why I went back for you is because you're my friend, so, like, that's why I went back for you. Corny, like, bromance scene. So then, of course, because Pike dies, you know, Kirk, like, swears revenge on him. And he's like, I'm gonna kill you because you killed my mentor, blah, 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 blah. So the Admiral, by the way, for people who don't know, his name is Peter Weller. That's RoboCop. For everyone who doesn't know, because, like, I realized that at the end of the movie, the Admiral for Starfleet is RoboCop. That's mad crazy. Like, what is... the fact that, like, he was already in a sci-fi film, and then he gets to be Admiral and something else, but he's not RoboCop anymore is really funny. So the Admiral is like, this guy did this stuff, and we gotta fight him because he doesn't know how to mind his own business. And he, like, teleports before they can kill him, and they find out that he teleported to, Klingon planet, which is where no one in Starfleet is allowed to go. So Kirk is like, I don't care, can you, like, send me out there and, like, not tell anyone that I'm going, and I'm gonna go kill this bitch, because he killed Pike and tried to kill mad people. Brr, 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 brr. So Admiral's like, yeah, I'm going to send you on a top secret mission that has nothing to do with anything. I don't know why everything is top secret, because it can't be a secret if everybody's getting blown up. Anyway, so they're like, oh, we're going to give you these, like, super special, like, awesome torpedoes that we've been developing, that we happen to save some of them before they got blown up by this guy who knew where they were. So they have all these, like, special torpedoes that are going to, like, kill the shit out of them. So the Admiral's like, go to Klingon, take these torpedoes, blow that motherfucker up, and come back, and the shit is over. So Kirk is like, cool, but before I go, can I have Spock be my first in command? And by the way, Spock had gotten transferred because, you know, he got demoted or whatever. So he's like, oh my god, friendship. So then Admiral's like, yeah. So then they get to the ship, and he's like, you know, Kirk's like walking around like, oh, I'm gonna run shit, and we're gonna take the Enterprise, and we're gonna go, like, fuck up some shit in, like, Klingon or whatever. So then, like, he brings all these, like, super massive torpedoes on, and Scotty runs up on him, and Scotty's like, wait a minute, lad, I don't know what's in these torpedoes, so we can't... I don't even know, like, why I'm trying to pretend to have a Scottish accent, because I'm really not good at it. But, like, Scotty's like, I don't know what's in these fucking torpedoes. I don't want to put them on the Enterprise, because if we do the wrong thing, the whole thing is going to blow up in space, and we're all going to be dead, and that's not cool. So Kirk is like, nah, bro. The Admiral says we have to put these torpedoes on the Enterprise, so they have to go, or eat a dick. So Scotty's like, we don't know what's in it, and I don't want to get killed, so I'm not going to be a part of this team if you're going to put these torpedoes on the ship. So Kirk is like, fine, then you should quit. And Scotty's like, well, then I will. And Kirk's like, good. And then Scotty just quits. And I'm like, I'm not going to watch this movie if Simon Pegg is not in it. Not because I don't love everybody else, but, like, I love Simon Pegg as Scotty. He's, like, the funniest Scotty ever. So they get on the ship, and then everybody's like, well, Scotty quit, so shit. So then he, like, puts, I always call him Anton Yelkin, but he puts Chekhov? Something like that. I always forget his name because it's like European and doesn't even make sense with everybody else that's in like the future. But whatever. So he puts him in charge and he's like, well, you're going to have Scotty's job now. You're not going to be on like the deck with everybody else. So change into a red shirt, which is of course like a big thing because if you're a Star Trek fan, you know like if you wear a red shirt, you usually die. Which is like totally like a subculture thing. But like if you don't know, if you wear a red shirt, you're more than likely to be killed more than any other character. Which is totally whack. But anyway. So, Scotty hops off and Bones is like, what are you doing? Like, you're not okay. Like, you're totally mad because Pike is dead. And Kirk is like, I don't care. Bones like, I got shit to do. We gotta go to fucking Klingon. Whatever. So then, they, like, get ready to head out. And, this bitch sneaks on board. And she's the Admiral's daughter. And she's, like, a doctor. And she conveniently has a whole bunch of knowledge about, like, weaponry. Which is, like, super convenient for the storyline because she wasn't brought up at all, and all of a sudden the Admiral has a daughter. Which I knew he had a daughter because, like, in the other universe, him and her get married, and then, like, they have Kirk's son, and, like, that's the whole, like, point of why she is. But whatever. She's played by this actress named Alice Eve, and if you've ever seen anything she was in, and I've only seen one movie, she was in ATM, and she's definitely the girl that gets killed because she left her cell phone in the fucking car. Useless. Anyway, so she, like, sneaks on board, and Spock totally catches her in that shit, because you can't lie when you're a Vulcan, so you're a liar. So anyway, so they go out to Klingon, and they're, like, trying to find this guy, so then Uhura, Spock, and Kirk get on the ship, and they're like, let's go do this shit. So they go in, and the Klingons totally fucking catch them, like, in 30 seconds that they're on the ship. So then Uhura's like, you brought me here because I speak Klingon, so let me speak Klingon. Thanks. That's exactly why they brought you. Because you speak Klingon. Double duh. So, she goes and tries to talk to them, and she's like, oh, there's this guy, and he's trying to fuck up your shit, and they're like, what do we give a shit? And he's like, because you care more about Anna. He's like, bitch, I don't give a fuck about you. And she's like, no, don't kill me. So then, like, of course, Kirk comes out, and he's like, blah, blah, I'm gonna use my fucking lasers. You can't be choking bitches that I need. So they, like, fight, and then the fucking guy who's going by, I believe his name is John Hamilton is his pseudonym in the movie. He shows up and fucks up all those fucking Klingon soldiers. Like, beats the shit out of all of them and takes his big laser gun and just, like, annihilates all of them. And then he's like, Kirk is like, well, if you shoot at us, we're going to take all 72 of these torpedoes that we have on the Enterprise, and we're going to fucking kill you. And he's like, how many torpedoes do you have? How many? And he's like, all of them. And he's like, fine, I'll be your prisoner. First of all, why would someone just agree to be your prisoner for no reason? Like, I understand the whole torpedoes thing, but I'm like, you just definitely beat the shit out of, like, 15 Klingons. What the fuck do you worry about torpedoes for? So, they take him on the ship, and they put him in, and Kirk is like, I'm going to make you pay for your crimes. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, that sucks. You know, whatever. So then, they bring him on the ship, and he's like, I'm going to start interrogating you. And now I'm going to pause this video, because there's going to be a part 2 to this. Because I'm going to make a 2-parter for this, because you guys are tired of me talking already. So I'm going to stop on where, like, Kirk and Spock, like, have John Hamilton in captivity, and they're about to interrogate him. So when I open up the second video, there's going to be spoilers on, like, the rest of it. So if you're still interested and you want to watch part 2, I'm going to give you some information. My website is www.facebook.com/BOOBBABBLE, which stands for Boob Babble. I also have an Instagram, which I will put in the links below, and I also have a Tumblr, and my personal Twitter is, like, mad lame. It's for me and not for you, so I'll definitely make a Boob Babble Twitter eventually. But that's the synopsis for the first half of Star Trek. If you're still intrigued, I'm going to make a part 2 in like 2 seconds and continue my sentence from where I paused before I started yelling at you guys about my website. So, like, comment, share, subscribe, tell other people, because I like to talk a lot, and some people like to listen to me. Usually I look better, but we're not going to get into that because nerds don't have to look good when they're talking about shit that's important, like being Vulcan. So, ready for part part 2, if you get it, like Vulcan, to the fingers or so. Alright, I'm not even going to try to explain like my humor because it's not even working on you guys. So, part 2 is coming in 2 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh my god, I dropped it at the last second. That's my thumb in the way.